Michael, what's up with the audio today?
Today I'm working on the setup for the B&W 805D4.
What about the Ever Solo Play we talked about last time?
I heard the Ever Solo Play has a 1-month lead time. Since it'd be boring to do nothing until then, I figured I'd revisit the 805D4 setup.
Isn't the 805D4 setup already settled?
Yes, it is, but I want to drive the speakers with better sound, so I decided to explore setup possibilities.
I see. Master, you want to hear about the B&W 805D4 setup too, right?
Yes, I want to hear.
What equipment are you using?
The source is Amazon Music. The network streamer is LinkPlay WM Ultra. The DAC is SM-Cell SUX. The amp is SM-Cell PA200. And the speakers are B&W 805D4.
What specifically did you consider?
Two things. One was the bass adjustment sponge for the 805D4, and the other was by wiring.
I see. By the way, what exactly is a bass adjustment sponge?
It's a sponge you insert into the bass reflex port to adjust the bass. This sponge changes the low-frequency response. There are 3 adjustment methods: fully sealed, using all the sponge, semi-open, using the sponge partially removed, and fully open, no sponge. Blocking the bass reflex port with the sponge reduces the bass response.
I see.
My B&W 705S3 subsystem has the same kind of sponge.
Do you use the low-frequency adjustment sponge on the 705S3?
No, I don't. I considered it back then too, but for the 705S3, the fully open setting without the sponge sounded best. This time, I tried adjusting the bass on the 805D4 with the bass adjustment sponge too.
What were the results?
I tried 3 different setups, but the bass didn't change that much.
But you're blocking the bass reflex port with the sponge, right?
The sponge itself is soft, so air can actually pass through it. That's why, even when sealed, I don't think the amount of bass changed that much.
So how did you decide to use the sponge?
I decided not to use the bass adjustment sponge at all and leave it fully open. It's not about the sound, it's a visual issue.
It's a visual issue?
The bass reflex port on the 805D4 is on the front. Putting sponge there looks bad. The bass reflex port on the 705S3 is on the rear, so adding sponge doesn't change the front appearance. But with the 805D4, putting sponge in the bass reflex port just looks really awkward to me. Also, I don't feel the 805D4 has excessive low-end volume, even fully open, so I didn't see the need to deliberately add sponge to reduce it.
I see. So how about by wiring?
Next, by wiring. I currently connect the 805D4 using single wiring with jumper cables. Both the speaker cables and jumper cables are AudioQuest Q2. Then, I prepared another set of the same Q2 cables to try by wiring.
How was the effect of by wiring?
Surprisingly, it sounded exactly the same as single wiring.
No difference in sound even with 2 sets of cables?
That's what my ears and brain perceived. I definitely felt a difference with by wiring when I had the 705S3 before. I'll save the analysis for later and explain the setup method. Since the Q2 is bare wire, I terminated the cable ends with banana plugs. For single wiring, I use pure copper spade plugs on the Q2. So spade plugs would have worked fine this time too, but when I previously terminated them with banana plugs, the plugs wouldn't fit snugly into the speaker terminals. That's why I wanted to try banana plugs again and bought some inexpensive wave-type banana plugs.
What material are the banana plugs made of?
The banana plugs are made of gold-plated brass. They're the type where you screw the cable into the plug at 2 points.
Didn't you say the screw-in type reduces the cable's contact area?
That's right. I think crimping or soldering the plug is better. But this time, I was worried the banana plugs might not fit into the terminals, so I played it safe with the screw-in type.
How much were those banana plugs?
1,899 yen for 8 pieces. Genuinely cheap products.
Did these banana plugs fit into the amp and speaker terminals?
The 4.5mm diameter banana plugs fit both the PA200 and 805D4 terminals without any issues. The wave-shaped ones are stiffer to insert into the terminals than the lantern-shaped ones, but they provide a sense of security because they have a larger contact area with the terminal.
Are wave-shaped banana plugs better than lantern-shaped ones?
In terms of contact area, wave-shaped is better. Lantern-shaped ones are easier to insert into the terminals, but they lack stability because of that. Then, after confirming the purchased banana plugs fit into the terminals, I processed the cable. First, stripping the cable. Using a cable stripper makes removing the insulation easy. Insert the stripped cable into the banana plug and tighten the 2 screws. A small flathead screwdriver is needed for this. Compared to crimp-type plugs, the screw type requires less force, making the process simpler. With 4 cables and 8 terminals, I repeated the same steps 8 times to complete the banana plugs. Since the PA200 amplifier only has 1 pair of speaker terminals, I connected both the spade plug and banana plug to the same terminal. For the 805D4, I connected the spade plug to the high-level terminal and the banana plug to the low-level terminal, completing the bi-wiring setup.
The sound didn't change whether I used single wire or bi-wiring.
Previously, with this 705S3, I felt bi-wiring improved the sound. Since the 805D4 is also a B&W, I expected bi-wiring to improve the sound too.
Why didn't the sound change even with bi-wiring?
We've discussed bi-wiring several times before, but opinions on its effectiveness are divided. In my experience too, bi-wiring has been effective for some speaker types and not for others.
What do you mean?
It seems the effect of bi-wiring isn't absolute. That's because the crossover networks in many commercial speakers merge onto the circuit board right after the input terminals. So, even if you bi-wire them, the circuitry ends up being almost the same as connecting them with a jumper wire.
You mean, even if you connect separate cables from the amp to the speaker terminals, they merge inside the speaker?
Exactly. So it ends up being the same as connecting a single cable to the speaker terminals via a jumper wire.
Then maybe bi-wiring doesn't really make a difference.
It's also a bit of a psychological thing. Bi-wiring feels more luxurious, so you might perceive the sound as better. I don't deny bi-wiring has benefits, but with the 805D4, I couldn't detect any effect at all.
So trying it yourself is best?
That's the most convincing approach, right? So for the 805D4, I'll go full open without the bass adjustment sponge and stick with single wiring.
We might want to dig deeper into bi-wiring.
Yes, everyone. Closing time is approaching.
We were just getting into it, but let's wrap it up for today.